Hi everybody, my name is Chris.
And I'm Linda.
We're the Pagets. We're excited that you're here with us. I want to talk about something that's kind of funny. When we moved from Ohio to New York, they have inspections here for vehicles. So you have to make sure that your car is not, bad, that it's up to code. And the way that you know that it's up to code is based on the check engine light. And the weird thing is that I didn't even know that you could buy a car that didn't have the check engine light on. I didn't even know you could drive a car without the check engine light on. But apparently it's supposed to be off.
You know, the other surprising thing was that there are actual mechanics who know how to turn off a check engine light. Like, we'd never met a mechanic like that. So, my gosh, New York must have the best mechanics in the entire country because they know how to get a check engine light off and keep it off for a full year of inspection.
The weird thing is that it's kind of cool in a way because it's a tell. The check engine light comes on to tell you that there's something wrong or that the mechanic needs to pay their mortgage bill. So when that check engine light comes on, basically, what do? We take it to be serviced.
So the point of this today is that we, in our own spiritual journey, or even just our regular mental health journey, we have a check engine light. And that check engine light indicator is indicated by the absence of peace. Like we like to say that the absence of peace is when your check engine light comes on. And so when you experience that lack of peace in your mind, lack of peace in your spirit, then it's time to have a checkout done to find out why the peace is not there.
There's a lot of ways and reasons that people lose peace. Ultimately, we can attribute it to a couple basic, simple things. One is sin. It's possible that you're doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing, and that brings a lack of peace. In a way, that's kind of cool because your spirit's telling you something needs to be fixed. And so we have some amazing things that help fix that spiritual unrest. We can go to confession. We can go to mass. And we can say, I'm sorry. Those kind of things are a big deal. The other part with a lack of peace comes down to fear. And maybe it's just fear of being not perfect, fear that you're going to be made fun of, fear and worry that somehow or another you're not good enough.
I think, in life we get busy. Life comes at us and we have all the responsibilities of being parents or at your job. There's so much that happens that comes at us that is out of our control. And so peace doesn't require those things to be calm necessarily. Peace is not the absence of problems. The peace is more interior. It is, there's a satisfaction, a calmness within your mind, within your heart, within your spirit, despite the chaos that's happening around you. And so when that check engine light comes on and you notice, that's something I think you have to train yourself to do, is to recognize the lack of peace. That takes time. But when you do recognize that the peace is gone, it's time to check, to go back and do a check and to see what that is. Is it sin? Is there something I'm afraid of? Am I worried about results that are beyond my control? Am I trying to take responsibility of something that's not my responsibility? And so in order to gain that peace doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stop doing what you're doing. It means you need to change your perspective. Look at your perspective, change that perspective and look at things differently. As Christians, we believe that that God is in control of things that are beyond our control. And so sometimes it might mean that we need to let go and let God do what he's going to do. It also means sometimes you need to let go of the responsibility you feel of other people's behavior. You recognize that, I'm not in charge of the way they're responding to me right now. I'm not in charge. I'm not in control of the fact that they're not forgiving me. Those things you have no control over. You can't control another person. And so it's the recognition that I'm out of control. I don't have control here. I need to let it go and allow the peace to come back to you instead of having it robbed by things that aren't your job.
ultimately, the good news is that Jesus wants you to have more peace than you want. And I think that's a great consolation. And so if you're struggling today and you feel like you haven't had peace for a while, just take a few minutes and ask yourself, is there something I'm struggling with? Is there a thing I'm worrying about? Is there a sin that is in my life? And bring it all to Jesus. Now, we don't really push talking about Jesus a lot, but I think he's the ultimate solution when it comes to a lack of peace. If for some reason you're out there and you're watching this and you're not inclined to ask Jesus for help, I want you to understand that sometimes we hold on to things because we think that by holding on to them, we can control it. And maybe just letting it go is your first step towards finding peace. Did you know that there's a physical tell, like a check engine light, when your body is not basically in step and in sync too? And one of the ways that I know that my check engine light comes on for my body is when I can't button my pants.
That's a whole nother video.
Amen.
You can live a life of peace. Try for that. Go for it.
Peace do.
Peace.